Be Sure to Cook. Today we're going to be doing meatball subs. We're going to do everything homemade. And I'm going to add a little Creole seasoning inside of there. It's going to give this a great stir. That guys, I am good to go. I hear you. Yes. Oh my God, that is wonderful. So that was about 4 to 5. I'm back. Bye. Welcome back to another episode of Be Sure to Cook. Today we're going to be making chicken shrimp fried rice. So stay tuned and let's get started. I've already got started on one carrot. I've already peeled and cleaned this up. All I have to do is wash it off. And I'm starting on my second one. I'm going to need some carrots chopped up fine, and they're going to be sauteed a little bit until they just tender to go into this rice that I'm making. Okay, I've got a cup of jasmine rice. I'm going to do a cup and a half. I'm going to do half of this because it's a cup and a half of jasmine rice. Okay, stir it and let it cook, simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay guys, we got a white onion. You can use yellow onion, you can't use purple onion in this dish, but you can use white or yellow onion. I've got a fresh onion, guys, for the guy that wants me to have a fresh onion. Well, here it is. Here's a fresh onion. But let me tell you, I cut this onion up right now, and I am using a fresh onion because I'm out of onions totally. I will not discard this onion until this onion is completely gone. I cook about 3 to 4 dishes every time I make a show. So I'm making this show today, and we're making the chicken and shrimp fried rice. Right after I get through making this show, we'll cut, we'll get ready, we'll clean up, and we'll be making another show. And I'm just going to need some big chunks of onion. Okay, I still have this onion. I'm going to put this in a little bag, and this is a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to put it up for my next show because I'm always going to need onions. Okay, I have some chicken breast here that I've already washed and rinsed, and I am paper toweling it to dryness. And I'm going to cut these in cubes for my chicken fried rice. Now, at the end of the night, every time I do something like those carrots, see how I left that stain? But I'll clean my board, and I'm not going to soak this until the end of the night. So it can soak, I can clean it, but right now, we're still working with this until we finish up this dish. Okay, so any silver skin or any fat content, we want to get out of the chicken. For the simple fact is, nobody wants to bite down on a real nasty fat skin and silver piece in their meat of their chicken fried rice. Oh, sometimes you get that in the restaurants, and you're like, oh, what is this big gristle thing that I'm eating? I happen not to like it. So since I don't like it, I look for the imperfections of the chicken. Okay, some people cut these in chunks because they like the big chunks of the chicken, you know, into their rice. Some, you know, restaurants you get it. But me, I like the thin slices, you know, a hint of chicken. But you can cut this chicken any way you like it. Okay, I've already peeled our garlic. All we need to do is rinse it off, and we need to get this cut up as fast as we can. All right, I'm starting to put some of the garlic. I started early, and I'm cutting it up. And then after I cut up my garlic, I put it on the side. I've got my chicken still set in here, and I'm just going to put this into a bowl. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of soy sauce, and you can do a light soy sauce, or you can do, a heavy soy sauce, but you only want a little bit. You want a teaspoon of cornstarch to go in. Half teaspoon of cornstarch. Okay, and I've got to really get to mixing here. Okay, in a bowl, well, I'm going to wash this. Lightly wash this with cold water, not too cold water. You don't want to put, sometimes you can take shrimp and you can put it in like a bucket of ice water and have it really cold, and it'll cook your shrimp. So you want to kind of you don't want to put it in hot water, you want to put it in a lukewarm cool water, and you want to rinse these because these have been in the bag. And this is a small bag of peeled and deveined shrimp, so it has nothing. They peeled it, already took off the tails, they deveined it, took all out the insides of it, and it is clean. All we have to do is rinse it off, and we're going to be using this. Same routine, add garlic to this, a half teaspoon of soy sauce. You can use any soy sauce you want. I'm just using Kikkoman's, but you don't have to. You can use any one. Make sure it's low sodium because you don't want all that salt. Or if you don't have low sodium, use what you have. And that's a half teaspoon of cornstarch. Okay, I'm not using bean sprouts in this dish. Usually I do. I'm going to use more eggs because I was going to make an egg fried rice, but now I am going to make extra eggs because I have other stuff in there. I'm not making egg fried rice now with this. I'm making the chicken and shrimp fried rice, but I'm going to use extra eggs. So I'm going to use 3 eggs. Okay, I'm going to cut up some green onions, but I'm getting rid of all the nasty ones and the ones that doesn't. You have to hear this crunch. You hear it, guys? You hear that crunch? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I have dried these off with a paper towel. I'm taking the bottom of these and I'm just going to cut down, and I am going to disregard all of these ending parts. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut every one of these to make it, cut all that out, even down here. Okay. And I like the taste of the onion in a smaller fashion. A lot of people, some Chinese people like it, they do them in great big chunks, but that's unnecessary for rice. So I want a taste of the onions. Okay, and these are the green onions that I cut up. That whole thing of onions is a lot, but we have a lot of people here today, so we're going to eat up all of this rice that I'm about to make. Okay, just a little bit of garlic in our wok. Then we add our chicken. Okay, as I'm cooking this chicken, I'm still cooking it for a while because some sides are still not done. So we want to make sure this chicken's completely done. Now that I'm cooking this in my wok, and I'm cooking it on the stove, I cut the chicken thin, and I know you wonder why. I told you can do it either way, but I cut it thin so it can cook quickly. So this is why I cut it thin. So, okay, now the chicken's done. I'm just going to dump this chicken into a bowl. Everything's going to get dumped into a big, humongous bowl. Same pan goes my carrots. In the same, I put just a sprinkle of soy, just a sprinkle of soy, not a lot. Okay, we want these to be tender. We don't want these to be like super soft. We're not making, we want it to be just tender, enough where it's got a little bite to it. Teaspoon of oil. Each dish sucks all of the grease up. And our shrimp. Okay, here's the shrimp. The shrimp are done. They curled up and they made a little gravy to them. Just what we want. I got the chicken, the carrots, and there's the shrimp. My 3 eggs. And remember I told you I was going to be using this garlic for everything, and that's what I'm going to be using. I dropped a little egg. I'll clean that up. Okay, teaspoon of oil. Don't forget, got to get those white onions in there. Okay, just that little bit more oil there. Just enough to give it. Now, we're going to turn this down. We want these eggs to beat up in here, and we want these eggs cooked hard. And you want to chop these up fine. And this is what I want. This is all my ingredients with the chicken, the onions, and everything that I did. Okay, now I mix all these ingredients and get it mixed well so everybody can get a little bit of everything. So this is with your meat and all your veggies. Now usually I do bean sprouts, but I didn't. I use white onions instead. Okay, I had to dump my rice in here using a teaspoon of oil as you go. And you fry it up because this wants to be loose. You got to get it hot and loose. Okay, then we got some brown gravy. And I'm just going to add a drizzle of this because you don't want to use a lot. Just like that. After the drizzle, mix well until it gets all nice and colored and you see no white. While still frying, constantly mix, but you're not really mixing, you're like tossing. Turn down your heat. Okay, add all your ingredients into the rice. Okay, after I put all the ingredients that we mixed up earlier, I'll take all the rice and I'm going to stir this all up until it gets all equally mixed up where everybody can get a little chicken, some carrots, and all the ingredients that I put in here. Okay, so make sure you incorporate all these ingredients that we put into the rice because you want every little bit of this rice to have some carrots, some onions, the eggs. So you want to make sure you really, and you don't want to mix it up like you're mixing a cake. You want to kind of toss it around until everything gets in there, going from the bottom and scraping up. Okay, this is for taste and for color. And these are the green onions I did cut up. But also, when you put your rice on the plate, you can put just a little bit more on there. And don't forget, you're going to need your soy sauce. So you can get any kind of soy sauce you like, light, unlight, it depends on. I'm just going to throw a little bit of onions in here to give it a little color and flavor. And I'm just going to toss just like I told you. Okay, and here it is, all mixed up. And this is chicken and shrimp fried rice. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hey, guess what? You and me, we did this together. We made this dish. And I want to make plenty more dishes with you all. Please come back next time so we can have plenty more dishes. Hey, see you next time. Bye.